drive it safe for yourself.
That's some strawberry, that's some chocolate, and a cone. Liable, kind of easier that way.
So you're eating ice cream while I'm working.
Yeah. I mean, went with your daughter too.
Well, now you're pushing it there, boy. It's funny.
Try to take him off.
Now you're pushing it. All right, Chelsea. Let me turn the mic. Maybe y'all can hear me. Can you hear me now? Sorry, Joe. Bust your eardrum. Here, you hold the
Your
camera.
son, who wants to actually earn a paycheck, is currently eating ice cream while the compressor's going on, while we're trying to film stuff. But it's like I was talking about before. He's eating with a pink spoon, so
And back in Bobbin brand too.
yeah. He's awful smiley about getting ice cream, so that kind of,
Yeah, ice cream is good. Can't be mad with ice cream.
I don't know.
Maybe I should give you some so we.
Matt's actually earning his money.
The time it took you to go get that ice cream, I done got this thing removed.
Yes.
That's an average is slow.
So if you hold the camera for a minute and let that ice cream soften up a little bit, it gets better that way, by the way. But I'll tell you what I did here.
What he did.
What I do, bruh.
What he did.
All right, so all the spot welds. A lot of people drill them out. We grind them that way. We'll have something to weld to. If I drill them out, then I have to weld that hole up before I put the other piece on and weld it on. So it's just more work. If you drill it, it's more work. So just grind them. But once you grind all the welds loose, and then I cut her here at the body line. I drew me a line first. She should come right off. What's hidden under there?
Dope and diamonds. It's got some of that factory
Glue.
Yeah.
See that glue?
We like to call it rust preventative, but it's not. It makes it rust.
Yeah. So
No.
yeah, there's a drain hole here for the moisture to escape, but they all get clogged up with dirt and they don't work anymore. Might have to do a little work there, huh?
Yep. We'll do a little something. Not much,
Yeah.
because
No, it ain't no lot.
we got to clean this up a little bit.
Treat it with
maybe
that.
take a wire brush or that little sandblaster I got and do that, and then you're gonna cut that piece of cab corner.
So I'll take this, stick it up there, and then I'll cut this one a little bit longer than I want it to be. That way I can always trim it off if I need to. You can't never, well, you guess you can weld it.
You can.
But it's always easier just to make it a little longer and trim it to fit. And that's what we'll do. But yeah, first we'll address this little rusty issue here.
You may even be able to get up in behind this with that.
Tuck it in behind.
Yeah. Then you got some room to fill, but
Yeah.
but see, this one just went too long with that cab corner rusted out, so it started rusting the inner structure. And given what this truck is, a lot of guys, if they're working on a OBS or early Chevy truck, they're just okay. Let's put a cab corner on it because it's really not going to rust that much more. But that's not how things work here. So that gets repaired, then we get the cab corner on. So it's like we were telling you before, a lot of the stuff that happens down here you don't ever get to see. Even in the finished product, you don't get to see the fact that he's going to spend 2 hours figuring this out, getting this clean, because rust never sleeps. It's actually not rust, it's a living organ. You cannot export a vehicle to Germany with rust on it because they consider it a living organism. I like to refer to it as tin worms.
I got a few fishing laws like that too.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. A lot of restrictive stuff, and they don't even have the decency to speak English. It's like they have a different word for everything. But yeah, he'll do this. I'm working on the square body truck because I'm fixing to start working on the OBS dually. So I won't be able to drive the dually for a little while, so I gotta drag my old chubby butt up in the lifted truck, which really is kind of a drag, especially with the knee that you...
the caddy.
Oh yeah, I drive the Cadillac. I know.
All right, jump to kid now, then.
See, we got all the rust cut out of here. So, there's a cab corner. I'm going in. Something like that. Just rough cut. I had to trim it all up, make it look nice and weld it. But the piece I had left over was a perfect candidate for this little piece that we cut out. Used to go in there just like so. See all that rust? We say no. Gotta go. But anyway.
He's a poet and don't even know it.
So I took that little piece and shaped that metal there to match it, traced it out, and cut it out. So I'll drill 2 holes right here, just like the old piece, spot weld it. Then I'll just butt weld this across here. And once we got to digging in here,
Butt weld.
like Jim said, everybody wants a price. We charged them, bro, to put cap corners on my old OBS. Well, when we get to removing them, there's more to be done than just cab corners.
And
we
here's
can't
the
give you a
thing, you know,
price.
people will go and order cab corner. That cab corner costs $12. That's all. So they think it's going to be, well, probably 25 altogether then.
Yeah.
You know, no, there's rust inside. You got to repair that. Now, he's going to weld this. Those welds got to be ground. It's got to be filled. It's got to be smooth. It's got to be painted. All that. So, even putting a $12 cab corner on something still escalates into, it's an expensive little deal. I mean, but it's rust. You know.
So once I cut this out, rust.
Yeah.
Cancer. Once I cut this out and I started cleaning on all this with my wire wheel, I noticed that this was real thin, so I went on to cut it out too. So once I get it welded in, I'll make me a little strip to go right here, like so. And then this. And then
It's the Avon lady.
after we get all this ground down and prepped and ready for this, then we'll put this on and I'll update you then. So whatever, go back to drinking you did.
Tugboat's gonna fly again.
Nashville Star.
That's right.
It's gonna be my ride to the bar. I can just keep going. Dude,
You're a funny guy.
that is the idea though. Take that Nashville Star to the bar downtown.
Yeah, but it only comes back 10:30 is the last one, so you need to go down there about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Hey, wait up!
Or take a goober.
I ain't got none of that fancy
Yeah, I ain't
stuff.
taking no goober. But yeah, you get that done, and then, I mean, this truck's got a couple small dents in it, nothing serious. We're putting new doors on it, so those will be fine. Yeah, okay.
I know, right?
New front fenders, I got a cowl hood for it. The bed that we got, this truck was originally a step side bed, which is, and we don't do step side beds.
So we're gonna put this over here to get a double cab.
Right, exactly. Put it on backwards to freak people out. This is my dad, that's Ray. But anyway, this goes on the autocross chassis that we're building. So with the 520 horse 383 stroker motor.
The
So
coil
this-
over, the ones with the coil over.
Yeah, so this is gonna be a seriously quick, nice handling,
You think it would beat Matt to it?
of course it'll beat Matt's truck.
Yeah, it will for sure. No
That's
diggity, no
that's
doubt.
because we ain't dug into Matt's truck yet. Once we dig into Matt's truck, it's gonna be shiny.
Wait,
Quick.
sorry,
Abby's
not
truck.
Matt to it.
Abby's truck, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Abby's
Abby's
truck.
Skeeters only.
That'll be good though. Abby will have a truck. She'll be able to take your walking ass down to Baskin Robbins, get some ice cream.
And that's better all that happens. Eating ice cream with my daughter, son.
Nah.
I noticed you got your new haircut.
What?
I noticed you got your new haircut and your new glasses trying to look good for somebody, and
It
Okay.
wouldn't be so hard to hear him if you had to shut the compressor off.
It is off.
It is right now, but the dryer made all that noise, and that's when you said, "What?"
not the dryer at home that your clothes are in right now, because you
Right.
probably
Not
didn't
your
get
blow
them
dryer
out.
that you do your Justin Bieber look
Wait,
thing.
wait.
What? He just kind of shuffled through here.
Yeah, he's.
That's my mom.
No, he's not.
He's not.
He's not.
He's not.
I can't see that far.
Well, he
and
can't.
they know who people are.
He can't hear that far.
He went back to the car. You go back to the car. Both of you are meeting at the car. You're just chasing each other around in circles.
See, when you're dealing with the old folks, you got to do stuff like that. And they moved to Trembling Hills with me, so we're up there at Trembling Hills.
Trembling. What's up, y'all? On this cab corner. Come on here, Austin. I'll show you what I did this morning. So I welded in that rusty piece that was bad. Got it all ground down and do a little test fitting on the new piece. Of course, it's not going to be exactly the same as this. I put this one right back up there, and it'll fit the way it needs to fit. All right, but I can put this new one up here, and of course it's I cut it a little long. It's going to be tight there, but it just doesn't have the same lines. So if you look here and here, see how sharp that line is?
Mm-hmm.
That one's not as sharp, but we'll fix it. But yeah, that's what I got going on this morning. Making this thing fit. The Nash, I got a vacuum problem going on, so I don't know if it's the motor not making enough vacuum, or they have a whole contraption underneath, which I showed you guys before when we had it on the lift. All the vacuum lines they had spliced into the vacuum canister, blah blah blah. And then they got a check valve up here, which only lets it flow one way, but it just doesn't have a lot of vacuum going to that booster, that new booster. So I'm going to try to run a line straight from the intake to the booster and see if that don't help us out with the pedal. The pedal's real hard. It stops. It'll lock the wheels up, but you really got to push hard. So I think we're having a little vacuum issue, but I'm going to get it figured out. And today, once I get that cab corner welded on, and we're going to put the motor here, the 383, on the chassis. She's a little dusty. She's been sitting around a little while. We're going to put it on there. We're going to get everything cleaned up, get it looking nice, and go ahead and continue with that. And I'm a little excited about that truck. That truck's going to be pretty bad. Beep. What's up, everybody? So earlier we just took some self-tapping screws, and I screwed it up there, got everything lined up, got the body line lined up, and took my mic and made sure it was the same as the other one from the top gap. So I didn't actually cut this in the corner. I cut it a little bit below the body line. So this one, of course, I'll have to trim to fit that one, but I want that same distance here to here as the other side. I'll show you. You just take you some mics or whatever you got laying around, a couple of sticks. I don't know, but pretty much you get your gap there, and then you want to match that up over here. You know what I'm saying? So I already did that. Got that where I wanted it, and then I had Austin here run a screw in right where it needed to be. So once we got that gap right, we fit the bottom and the back side. And then I put a screw through the bottom to hold it up tight, and then lined up this corner here. Made this corner match this corner. See that? So once that matched, screwed it in, and then I went around with my Sharpie and I drew a little circle, a little dot, wherever I wanted Austin to drill me a hole at. But you see here, you want to clean both sides of the piece. You want to get all that paint off there. That paint's gonna mess your weld up. You ain't gonna get good penetration. You need to get in that corner a little bit better, get that paint off of there, and we'll be good to go. We'll weld this sucker on. Might get a little time lapse of that or something. And I'm just gonna butt weld it here. And then I'll come back and grind it down. And we'll put a little thin layer of Bondo in there, or not Bondo, body filler, polyester, plastic filler, whatever they call that stuff, you know. But yeah, that's what we got going on. We'll set up the tripod, get a little time lapse of me welding it on and beating up Austin. But that's it. After we get it done, we're gonna slide. Me and Austin's gonna slide the chassis out, the OBS chassis, and we're gonna put that motor on there. So what I'll do is take the same screw holes that I screwed in earlier. See, there's one of them. There's another one down here. I think there's two down here. And I'll put them screws right back in. That way it's in the same exact spot when we lined it up. So, and then we'll weld it. But once I line my screw hole up, pull the bottom in, it's gonna be almost perfect. I'll fill all that in with weld, grind it down, keep it cool, don't get it too hot. Remember. What's up, everybody? So what we have here is a dog.
Dog content and then a cat.
Neighbor's dog.
Anyway.
Boy, you better get home before you get in trouble, boy. Your daddy probably looking for you. He finna go over and take a dump in the floor. But anyway, I got her all welded up. And we'll get her primed up so she won't rust. But we're gonna go ahead and prep the inside. We got more rust in here. We got more rust to deal with, my brother. So we're gonna get Austin in here, clean all that up, see how bad it really is under there. Go look, check out the other side. All this rust, it's gotta go. If it's bad enough, I'll cut it out and replace it.
Hopefully it's not that bad.
If it ain't that bad, we can treat it and prep it.
This is a 383 stroker for Zach's pickup truck. We're gonna put the engine transmission in it today. Suspension's all done, we showed you that before, so we're just gonna set this in there. It gives us some more room, gets it out of the way, and it's ready to go in. So Matt's gonna put a flywheel on it and put the transmission, and we'll mount it in there. Then have Zach buy about $10,000 worth of wheels for it.